In this setup preview, we are going to look at the Volkl Organix V1 Mid Plus. So we've used the oversized version on this channel in the past. I thought it would be a good time to try out this particular model. It's got a few statistics that I think are superior to the oversized model, and hence why I would like to try it. So we'll start off with the shot speed at 65.5 miles an hour. That is probably about mid to above mid range. It's controllable, but worth monitoring, as with the incorrect string setup can easily lose control. Also, in comparison with the previous racket, which was the Head Metallics 2, that had recorded a shot speed of 64.2 miles an hour. So like I mentioned in the analysis of this racket, the length control was superb. It was by some distance the best racket we've tested here at Cupenya so far, but the big problems were the height and line control. Because it was so light, I lacked the consistency in those two departments, and also when dealing with heavier incoming shots such as flat serves, kick serves, etc. Difficult to control those as well, because the racket is so light in terms of twist weight, swing weight and static weight. So bearing all of that in mind, that was the reason for the switch to a slightly heavier racket. And we can see here we got a static weight of 299, a swing weight of 302 and a twist weight of 14.0. So all three of those figures are higher than the Metallics 2 by some distance. And so I'm hoping for an improvement in the height and line control over all of our shots. Moving on to the swing speed, it's recorded here at 50.3 miles an hour. So again, that's mid to above mid-range in comparison to the previous racket we've used, which was the Dunlop Strixon Revo CX 2.0. That was recorded at 49.9 miles an hour. So looking at those two figures, we'd expect the Volkl Organix to be a little less stable, but with a faster swing speed, we could expect to hit with more spin, although that isn't always the case, as we found out here at previous experiments. Moving on to the stiffness ratings, and we've got a flex here of 68, which in comparison to our previous racket, the Dunlop, it also was 68, but we've got a vibration frequency here for the Volkl at 159 in comparison to the previous 157. So even though we'd expect a little less stability in terms of height and line control, consistency, because the racket is lighter in those regards, we should experience a little bit more control from the increase in vibration frequency, as less movement generally means more control over height and line and also length. Onto the head size, which was measured at 102 square inches. That is significantly smaller than the oversized version that was measured at 110. And in comparison, I would expect a lot more control over height, line, and even the variance in length I expect to be a little bit smaller. So we'd have more consistency in that area. And in general, shorter strings, which you would obviously have in a smaller head size, tend to decrease the variance in all aspects of control. And this is even more noticeable as the strings start to get older, they start to lose tension. And if you compare side by side an oversized racket with a mid plus or a mid size, I think most players would notice a difference in the amount of control over the aspects that we talked about, height, line and length. And that is the main attributes I wanted to cover in this setup preview. Overall, what I think we are going to experience out on court is an increase in the amount of control over the height and line, thanks to the increase in vibration frequency, the increase in twist weight, and that will be a welcome addition in comparison to previous setups that we've used, especially as the balls get older. That is the main type of control that goes, the height and line. And so hopefully this racket goes some way to remedying that problem. Potential issues I think we could face. The main one is because the swing weight is a little bit less at 302 compared to the Dunlop Revo that we've been using recently, we could experience a loss in length control in terms of the actual length variance. So Rackets with lower swing weights have less plow through, obviously, and so less stability in that area, meaning that the potential lengths that the ball could land becomes wider, it becomes less predictable, and obviously less predictability means there's less consistency, less accuracy, and therefore an increase in the length variance. So this will be an area that needs to be monitored. Right, that's the setup preview. The strings that I'm going to put in this racket are in the mains it will be the Signum Pro Firestorm 1.30, and in the crosses it will be the Prince Tournament Nylon 1.38. So 2 strings that we've already featured on this channel so far. Hopefully they will complement the strengths of this racket while nullifying some of the potential weaknesses we could face, but we'll see. Once we're out on court, I'll be able to make a better judgment of that. And yeah, if you're still listening, I want to thank you very much for doing so. I do appreciate it, and if you found it interesting, it might be worth checking out the other content on this channel and staying tuned for future videos, especially the setup analysis of this video that's coming out soon. And hopefully I'll see you all there. So until then, everyone, take care.